Welcome back to Dimes on Duval at Coastal Indoor Golf yet again, alongside the great Skylar Chase, the wonderful Mike Yazji, and plain old me. Welcome back to Dimes on Duval, guys. How you guys doing?
I think you sold yourself short, Keith.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I agree with that on that. With that analysis, Skylar.
I would say that in terms of character, you're very high.
Oh.
And you're just a really nice guy.
I'm very, very flattered. Thank you. We got a good show for us today in store as Mike is laying on the ground now. We're going to talk a little college football playoff, but maybe not exactly what you're hearing every day on 1010XL.
Oh, you might be. I don't know, because I feel like...
Yeah, they probably exhausted every storyline ever. So
I don't listen to them anymore, so I don't know what they're really talking about.
Same.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't even turn on the radio. I just listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire on repeat.
Fair enough.
Cultured. Very nice.
Do you remember?
Hey, a classic. The NBA is back. We'll talk a little NBA, just a little bit, and with a little local update. I found some pretty cool little tidbits on the Jacksonville area, so I thought we'd talk about that.
I mean, I feel like there's actually quite a few local things we could cover, but we'll find out what Keith's talking about later. So,
Jumping right in, college football playoff. Nothing's happened. We're still in the same boat we were last week, the week before. It's the same four. But now we're looking at who maybe has any sort of shot. And, of course, we got to go hometown here. Do the Gators have any chance? They are currently seeded 7th. Can they sneak their way into the college football playoff somehow?
I mean, there's a reason there's 7 in the college football playoffs. Like, the AP polls, they're ranked 11th, which I believe is more fair. Even as a Gator fan, I was just dumb to lose to LSU, but I kind of was worried about it regardless because you could tell they were focused too much on Atlanta, or going to Atlanta to play Alabama. And, they sat Kyle Pitts. They ran the ball quite a bit on the first drive. They ran the ball from the 2-yard line a couple times, and they Toby Gerhardted it pretty much.
Toby 2 yards.
Yeah, so, I mean, they were trying some things. They almost treated it like a preseason game to an extent. And then Trask that's probably one of his worst games in terms of ball management, just taking care of it. But
I mean, that one interception was pretty funny.
Yeah,
the
that
bounce
one,
off the helmet.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was he still threw a little bit behind. So that's still,
granted, yeah, it wasn't a perfect throw. No.
Yeah, because Tony was open. He could have hit him on the sideline there, and but it is what it is. It's college football. Teams can get excited to play whoever they want. LSU and Florida kind of have a mini interconference rivalry now because of hurricane replanning games and other things that just aggravate different fan bases and such. But in terms of playoffs, because they didn't move us down but one spot, I think that obviously gives us the chance to actually go, depending on certain things, obviously, but we have a chance.
Well, Mike, you were shaking your head during that. I feel like you have a different opinion.
Florida has no shot at making the playoff. I don't care. They can beat Bama. Bama's still going to be in.
Okay, so if they beat Bama,
they beat Bama, okay.
52-7.
There's no shot. Alabama scores 7.
Clemson.
If Alabama scores 7 points against Florida's defense, just 7 points,
listen,
I will Venmo both of you $100.
He's going strictly hypotheticals.
All right, I'll take that. $100.
They're gonna allow way more than 7. It's okay. It's
maybe like 70. But
it's gonna be 50-40 or something like that.
I don't think so. But go ahead, Keith, with your
Pitts is playing. But
with your
So and then on the other side, Notre Dame beats the living crap out of Clemson. So that's basically 2 teams that are just gone.
Honestly, I feel
and Ohio State loses too.
Northwestern.
It's Northwestern.
Northwestern, yeah.
But the way I look at the Clemson-Notre Dame game, too, is I feel like even if Clemson maybe beats Notre Dame by over 14 or so
the spread's
points,
10 points, which I don't think it's going to be that high. I think it's going to be a close game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying if Clemson does come out there and beat them by 2 touchdowns or more, just to show that Trevor Lawrence was mainly the main difference in that game, I think you probably, depending on the committee, the committee's obviously doing the eye test thing here, because they're allowing us.
The committee's always falling in love with
can't
Notre
stand.
Dame,
I'm
too.
sorry, not to cut you off, Scott. I can't stand this committee. They say they watch all the games. I don't know if they really do, because I feel like there are a lot of teams that should not be in the top 10 that are.
I mean,
for example, number 6, Iowa State. Number 7, Florida. Number 8, Georgia. I don't get why Georgia's still in there. Just because they're SEC? Who have they? They have 2 losses.
To Alabama.
Well, they've
or-
done a lot better with
Yeah.
JT Daniels as the quarterback. They're actually like winning games.
Yes,
and
but
not,
would you
like-
put them over undefeated Cincinnati? Would you
If
put
they
them
played
over?
head-to-head, I think
Put them
Georgia
over
would beat
one loss
Cincinnati.
Indiana? Granted, Indiana did lose their quarterback for the year.
Well, yeah, then I'd have
Coastal Carolina, I think those teams should be. They're not getting enough recognition. Now, Florida, I think even if they beat Alabama, they will not get into the playoff because you can't put a 2-loss SEC team in there. Granted, they're the SEC champ, fine, but
They've done it before.
They have.
And that's the
I
that's
still
the,
don't
this
think
is
they
the
should.
committee that
but
you hate.
okay,
that
but
this
if you put Florida's going to jump Texas A&M, who beat Florida.
Yeah, but
I
that's
don't
why
think
that's
they
why
should
where
do it.
Keith's hypothetical was 52-7. If Florida
Yeah.
beats Alabama by 3, no, they're not going in.
I think if Florida destroys them, you can't.
You're
tell me
telling
that
they're gonna
Texas
jump
A&M
them
is still
4
better.
spots, and they're
Texas
not-
A&M beat them
Alabama's
by a
gonna-
game-winning field goal.
Our losses are by a combined like 5 points or
Yeah,
something.
5 or 6 points.
Yeah.
It's literally field goal
But again,
differences.
those 2 losses are granted. One of them is to the number 5 team in the country, and the other one is to a team that is reeling
Reigning national champions too.
reeling in LSU, who barely was able to bring a roster to Gainesville.
Sure, okay. I counter that with, what if you flip their losses? What if they lost to LSU first, and then they lost to
Texas
A&M.
Texas A&M? Yeah.
Well-
At the end, would that make a difference for you?
It might have, but the thing is, I don't see how
'Cause
you
we
can
were
put a
supposed to
2-loss
play
SEC
LSU.
team. I don't. You were supposed to play them earlier.
Yeah, they're
yes,
supposed to play.
I agree.
Would that have changed?
But
things?
2 losses, I think, should automatically, more often than not, disqualify
And
you.
you know what's funny?
From the playoff.
Yeah, I would agree normally, but what's funny is,
Because it's Florida, you're saying
well,
they should
no,
have
well,
a
no,
shot.
that's not
I
that's
wanna-
not why
let's hear this, let's hear this,
that's
let's
not
hear
why I
this.
disagree with this. I mean, like they've done it before, and you know, I would agree that a loss to LSU probably should eliminate them. But I think what's funny is I think Dan Mullen's bickering to the committee
Oh, I
about
don't-
Ohio
Dan-
State playing less games. I think that actually worked and made
is
them think,
interesting.
because he could have took accountability and been like, yeah, our players shouldn't be throwing a shoe. But instead he said, you know, maybe we should have played less games. They didn't have to play LSU, and they did. And so I think maybe by bickering about that
And
in the press
technically,
conference-
like, if they didn't want to play, if they want to play less games, they should have not played that game because that's what
Exactly.
Mullen's argument is. And attacking Ohio State for the fact that other schools can't contain COVID-19, which we all know is a serious issue right now. It's on the Big Ten for having their protocols constantly broken, having games rescheduled, having games postponed, having games canceled, and I don't think everyone's blaming Ohio State for the lack of games played, but it's also on the conference as a whole.
Yeah.
Granted, every conference so far has adjusted their rules to have their teams have a chance to play.
And
I'm sorry, the Big Ten has with Ohio State, the ACC has with Notre Dame and Clemson, getting rid of an extra game for both of them for them to play this upcoming weekend in the ACC championship game. SEC, I don't know if they've done anything, but I'm pretty sure they have.
I mean, just SEC only technically, I guess. Would be the thing.
Exactly. So I don't believe the Gators have a shot because they've lost 2 games. One of them, granted, to the number 5 team in the country now in Texas A&M, but the other into a being up LSU team who has, I think, 50 players on the roster playing. Their defensive back, Marco Wilson, threw away their national championship chances and SEC championship.
That's what I thought
chances, I
too.
think.
But the college football playoff committee decided to leave them at 7 and to see what's going to happen.
You know how pissed Texas A&M fans are going to be?
Oh yeah, no, I
If
wouldn't doubt it.
let's say if Florida does beat Alabama,
Well,
they
Texas
get in the
A&M lost to
playoff.
Alabama by like 21 or so.
That was early in the season though.
Exactly,
If
yeah.
you put Texas
I
A&M now
understand.
against Bama, it might have been a closer game.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, and there's arguments for every scenario. There is, and the main thing though is they're at 7. They're playing Alabama, so they're playing a team that is ranked number 1. And if they beat the number 1 team,
They have to beat Alabama by 45 plus, I think.
Yeah,
and they I don't think they have a chance.
Well, yeah. So you don't think they have a chance just because you don't think they're going to beat Alabama by 45?
I don't think they're going to beat Bama even by 3. They're not going to beat Alabama.
I get that.
In my opinion.
I don't think they're going
That's
to win
fair.
either. But I'm just saying that they have a chance strictly because of where they're ranked, and you know that's enough
But
to
you
maybe
can't
motivate
base off
a team.
rankings. They're based on the play, and the play on Saturday.
Yeah.
The game, they did not look good,
They didn't. But they also sat Kyle Pitts, and like I mentioned,
which I thought was weird.
Yeah, they
by
were
the
looking
way.
ahead. They were trying to
But,
do some things like preseason
okay, you're saying
games.
they were looking ahead. All these Gator fans, all these SEC fans say SEC is the best conference in football, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which it is. I'm not denying that. You can't look ahead past any opponent in the
I know.
SEC. And Gator fans,
And that's where Dan's argument probably goes to where maybe we should have played less games. Maybe the committee would have rewarded us more for playing less games.
but that's not Ohio State's fault for playing
It's
less
not.
games.
It's not.
It's due to the virus. Like,
It's-
it's not they're choosing to play 5
I'm
games.
not blaming Ohio State. I'm not blaming the
But
Big
Mullen-
Ten.
Mullen's saying
and I'm
that.
not. But Mullen saying that, he's got the committee basically by the balls, saying, this is unfair to drop us 3 spots because we didn't have to play this game, and our 2 losses are by, like we mentioned earlier, combined 5 or 6 points, and it's probably 6 because I think we were
3.
It's 34-31 against Texas A&M,
And then 45-40, or whatever the score. It's 3 points each, yeah.
and we lost to a kicker made a 57-yard field. How many college kickers do you know? I
No,
mean,
I'm not saying...
that was incredible.
Yeah.
So
You could have made that from 60.
Yeah, I mean, no other team would have lost that way. I mean,
You don't
teams,
know that.
Teams lose by field goal, sure, but very rarely does a college kicker make a 57-yard field goal. And Kyle Trask did his job. He got the team down the field and within 3 seconds got us a chance to kick a game-tying field goal, and our kicker missed.
Okay, but again, I'm going back on your Dan Mullen comments.
Yeah.
He has no room to talk about Ohio's playing less games. If they really had the option of not playing the LSU game, they should have taken that and ran with it. They chose to play it, and it bit them in the ass.
I think that's his argument, is that because he decided to play it, he probably shouldn't be punished as much, because there are teams that haven't played 6 other games, whereas we played 6
They
successive.
lost to an LSU team who absolutely stinks.
Coached by who won the championship last year.
That team is not the same as
it's still
this
a
year.
coach. The coach makes the players.
Oh, that is not true, but that's another topic.
I mean,
It's not based on the coaching
Can
staff.
we just agree that the committee sucks for having Ohio State up there just because they're Ohio State?
yeah, I mean,
I
that's
disagree
one
with
argument.
that.
So,
I think Ohio State, they've played some good games this year.
One good game against Indiana,
Which
maybe.
Indiana
Maybe.
is a pretty decent team according to the rankings, number
Yeah.
11.
And-
Granted, 5 games, I agree. I think they should need more
And
games
Indiana
to be
had
played.
to come back in that game. I think Indiana was down 21 points, and I think they made it look a lot cleaner, like a lot closer.
It came
than
down in the
was.
last drive, but yeah.
It did, but like I'm saying, they had to come back. It wasn't like they were fighting throughout the whole game, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but I'm saying Ohio State, I still think, is a top 10 team, top 5, because they are playing like it. Granted, they have not played the games that people have seen. They want to see more games from Ohio State, which I completely understand. But Ohio State is still one of the top 5 teams in the country. When healthy and when they play, they are a top 5 team in the country.
Who's to say? Because they haven't played a full schedule, so we'll never know.
What is a full schedule, though? Is it
12
that's
games,
not
I guess.
that's not always true, though.
Yeah,
That's not
I mean,
always true.
I think it should have done. They should have had it to where 10 games maybe, but like in between 8 to 10.
But then that goes back to the Big Ten, which we
And-
talked about last episode.
Yeah, and I mean that's where it's hard to know who to put the blame on. The Big Ten, instead of saying we're going to postpone our schedule, they outright said they were going to cancel at the beginning, and then they decided to bring back football after seeing conferences play and be like, well, we don't want to be left out, and so they brought back football weeks later, and then they had different protocols, and so then it affected other games, and then Ohio State had less games, and they're like, well, we don't want to leave Ohio State out. So then they altered to where Ohio State would play an extra 6th game. And, yeah, I get what you're saying. I understand it. Ohio State is a really good team, and I think if
Ohio State played Florida, they would beat Florida handily.
Handily?
Yes.
I don't know if handily, but
They would win by 2 scores.
I don't know.
Ohio State is a good team, and we'll find
Ohio
out Saturday
State is
against
a good
Northwestern.
team, and like our defense is trashy. It's ratty, but
It's garbage. Justin
Yeah.
Fields would tear up that defense. Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, that's something we just might
We'll
have
never
to wait
see.
and see.
No, we will not see this year, unfortunately.
Well, you know what? We will see.
we just know that Florida against Ohio State all time, it just has a better record anyway. So we're just gonna bank off of that. And
Hey,
Florida,
man, take whatever you can get. Take whatever you can
whatever.
get.
To enjoy that.
I mean,
Enjoy
Ohio
history.
State's taking their 6-0 record.
Oh,
to the
quick question
playoffs.
though, before we move on from college football.
Yeah.
Does Kyle Trask still win the Heisman?
No.
He needs to. I feel like he's clearly the best. I mean, if not him, the wide receiver from Alabama.
Okay, you were gonna
He's
say
the
the best
best-
quarterback, but I was gonna say the Heisman.
to have played the season.
Okay, but I'm
in
saying
terms of
the Heisman's
stats,
not the best quarterback award. That needs
No,
to stop.
it's not. But he's also got
Charles Wilson.
some more of the best stats, pretty much. Like so, he broke most of
I know
Joe Burrow's
they
stats,
talked about it on
like, last
Saturday.
year. So,
yeah.
it's just common sense to me. Like
No, it should not always go to the best quarterback.
No,
That's
not
bogus.
always. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it should go to if a guy is breaking the previous Heisman Trophy holder record or whatever.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, then
Okay,
it should be
but-
undebatable.
I disagree with that.
Because like Cam Newton broke Tim Tebow's records, and I think that's what got Cam Newton to.
But you were
win
when you were
Heisman.
gonna say if you said Trask was the best quarterback, which I get, he is. He's
This
been the best
season,
quarterback
yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Barring, I'm trying to think, Mac Jones.
Yeah, well, no, yeah.
Even then, Mac Jones is carried by 2 first-round
If Trevor
receivers.
Lawrence played the whole season, I bet Trevor
He
Lawrence
only missed
would
2
win.
games
Yeah.
or 1. No, he missed
He
2
missed
games,
2, and then he played
Florida
all right,
State.
and
Yeah.
another one. But yeah, if they had the same stats, Lawrence probably gets the Heisman. But because it's Kyle Trask, he's not even going to be like the favorite now.
See, the
because
thing
he lost
is,
to LSU.
Trask has been the best quarterback this year, but he's not the best quarterback in my opinion. It's still Trevor Lawrence.
I understand that. I meant this year. And
But
so
Heisman considerations, I think the Heisman's kind of now opened up a little bit because Trask did not play that well on Saturday.
he didn't, but he also, I mean, you could argue with that final drive getting down the field, if that field goal was made and we win in overtime, that would have gone to his Heisman legacy, obviously. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. That's why also this Alabama game is so crucial for that too. That's why I think there is a chance because we have nothing to lose now. It's throw the ball crazy, get points, score a lot. Our defense isn't going to do anything, so we need to score 60.
Devontae Smith is going to torch y'all for 300.
Well, I wouldn't
He
doubt
is
it.
going to go off, and
And
I think he's going to lock up the Heisman.
That's the guy I'm more concerned about in terms of Heisman Trophy winning.
Yeah,
and
Marco
such, so.
Wilson's guarding him, then it'll be easy touchdowns.
Yeah, there'll be a shoe win.
But shoe and win exactly. But going from college football playoffs to the most recent playoffs that ended, and that is the NBA. The NBA is back, and this time it is not in a bubble. So we just want to touch on a few things with the NBA. 2 superstars that have been really concerned about their future going forward. One of them is Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he is re-signing in Milwaukee. Keith, what was your first reaction to seeing the news that Giannis is staying in Milwaukee?
I was honestly surprised. I really thought he would venture off like all the other superstars seem to be doing these days. So I'm honestly happy for him. If he likes Milwaukee, I mean, he kind of has a sad backstory, and
I think he's scared a little bit to leave, though.
Yeah, maybe he is kind of just like I'm comfortable here. I've been here since I was 18 years old. Like, this is my home. I don't want to go off because I don't know. Maybe.
And I mean, I don't know what his mindset is in terms of markets and such, but for me as a person, if I were a player, I would not want to be in a large market. Even though you can make money off of marketing and such and all that,
it's
just
make money off of marketing, just not as much.
Yeah, I mean, but my mindset would be like, I need as much space as possible, especially if you're an NBA superstar. You're already being followed by everyone. So you go to a different city like New York or LA. I mean, there are a ton of people there, so you kind of just blend in. But also at the same time, all that stuff becomes a distraction because there's just so much to do. So you don't even get to focus. But I think what was interesting was hearing his comment about how he didn't want to see his jersey being burned. He said he saw so many players' jerseys. Yeah, he saw so many jerseys getting burned that he didn't want to see Milwaukee fans burning his jersey. But, I mean, it would have probably been different for him because...
I don't think so. I think if he left Milwaukee, they would have burned his jersey. That's how fans are.
Fans are just stupid.
I mean, Orlando fans burnt Dwight Howard's jersey when he got traded. LeBron's jerseys got burned when he left Cleveland and Miami.
D-Wade, too, in Miami.
D-Wade in Miami, which really was messed up of them.
Chris Bosh in Toronto.
It just list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Kawhi and I don't know about Kawhi and San Antonio.
Danny
Green
people
from
burn
Detroit.
jerseys.
Who? Exactly. But no, I mean, I think Giannis staying in Milwaukee is huge for not only Milwaukee, small market teams,
And himself.
no, the small market teams just got a huge win for that because teams like Orlando, Indiana, Sacramento, New Orleans, Memphis, all these smaller area teams now have a chance to keep their superstars. For example, Sacramento just signed De'Aaron Fox back.
So that was a huge deal.
Yeah, he got the Supermax. And that's what the whole point of the Supermax was created. And I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about how if Giannis had left, they might as well have redone the deal because the Supermax would have been useless. Because only maybe a couple have used the Supermax.
Yeah.
So having Giannis sign in Milwaukee is huge. Like look at all this. Like, for example, I mean, this is still early on. Zion in New Orleans, Ja in Memphis. Those are two stars that can transform the small market teams.
Yeah, they're going to be very good.
Well, at least Ja will be. If Zion does not keep his weight under control, we'll see about
True.
him. But I think that's huge for small market teams.
I mean, you gotta say it's huge for Giannis too. I mean, the dude's making $193 every second. Like,
Yeah, well,
$228 million. What I could do with a
there was a
12th
meme.
of that.
There was a
A
meme that was
20th
going
of that.
around. I saw something, and they were like, "Y'all really thought he was leaving Milwaukee?" And it was a picture of Giannis, I think in the Disney bubble, saying "free water." So he just grabbed a whole bunch of water. I don't know where it was. I don't know if it was in Disney
Yeah.
bubble or somewhere.
I think it was.
He just a whole trash bag full of water bottles. He kept it. I'm like, okay, that's funny. He was. I don't think he was actually planning on leaving, but Milwaukee does have to. They are officially entering a must-win situation with Giannis for
They
next few
did
years.
not do anything to help him in the offseason, but
We'll
save that for another.
What do you mean? They got
podcast.
DJ Augustine.
Okay, all right. a 36-year-old point guard. All
I was
right.
joking. 'Cause he's garbage on defense. Anyways, from one superstar that decided to stay to another that is definitely looking to be on the move. James Harden has requested a trade from the Houston Rockets. And as of now, from what I've seen, two teams that he is interested in are the the Brooklyn Nets, and I think it was the Miami Heat.
76ers.
Oh, 76ers. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that
for correcting
trade
me.
must be weighing on him like his belly.
Yeah, he was definitely chunky the
Little
other
chunk
day.
over there.
We'll get into that. He's probably enjoying the strip clubs in Vegas and Atlanta too much.
That's
They
what
got the buffets there on the.
Lou Williams.
Yeah, what, no, didn't they say their trainer or something, or somebody?
He
close to
said
him
he
came
asked
out.
him.
He like flies in and out every
He
weekend.
flies to Vegas and Atlanta every other weekend or whatever.
Every
his-
off day or
whenever he has
whatever,
off
yeah.
days. I'm like,
That's crazy.
that was before the coronavirus, but
That's crazy.
yeah, Harden needs to whatever. Harden's
Well-
fat according to the picture I saw. I didn't see the
Shams
highlights.
tweeted out just about an hour ago today, on Thursday while we're recording, but he said Ben Simmons has been made available in some packages with Houston for James Harden. That'd be
Okay, so
interesting.
maybe by the time this episode posts, there'll be a trade. Who knows? But what are your guys' thoughts of that? Do you think James Harden has every right to request a trade, especially after the move they just did to trade, to acquire, what's his face?
John
Wall for Russell Westbrook?
It's tough because I want to say, like, Harden, why don't you want to stay in, like, just one more year and just try and figure things out with John Wall, maybe, you know? I mean, I think Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook are a great combination, but at least try it out. But if he demands a trade, I don't know. It's almost as if he's, like, in, like, a Ngakoue situation where it's like, is he going to be that good that he was for that period of time with a new team, a new offense, and something like that?
Well, I mean, James Harden was good in Oklahoma City, but then he turned into a superstar when he was in Houston.
Exactly. And they built the offense around him.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd have to do that with another team. And I know coaches are smart and they can do that, but it'd be interesting to see if...
Well, there's players established
do
in the
that.
cities that he wants to go, right? I mean,
Brooklyn-
with Kevin Durant and Kyrie.
Apparently, Houston, what I saw like maybe a week ago, Houston wanted to trade for Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving in order to send away James Harden. But Brooklyn definitely probably will not do that.
they
because
want a full
wanna
year
see,
with them.
They want to see what they've got in Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Because Kevin Durant missed all of last year with a torn Achilles.
But
And
if he goes to Philly, it's Joel.
Philly and Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, but they're going to have to probably get rid of one of them. Philly's got their own issues. They may have to trade one of those two. They're going to have to blow it up. If they don't do it now, they're going to have to do it very soon. Maybe before the trade deadline. But James Harden, I feel like doesn't have room to really beg for a trade. I don't know. I just don't think.
I think eventually they're going to start realizing that his game really isn't that special.
Yeah, that's
It's
what I was
just-
getting at.
He does a lot of, like, flashy stuff that should be illegal but isn't illegal. And
AKA traveling?
yeah,
Hop
exactly.
step, which is not really a hop
Well, we
step.
just talked about how he travels every off day.
No, I'm talking about traveling on the court. Like,
On off days and on days, he's traveling.
that's true. But no, with James Harden,
He's got a
Do
bunch of
you-
travel points racked up.
yes, he does. Do you have any thought of a team that he could go to?
Put him out there in
Detroit.
Golden
Why?
State.
I have no idea.
Just to see his career die?
Well, Blake Griffin's out there. Would he? Would Blake go to Houston if he?
Nah,
was
just keep Blake there. Keep it interesting.
I mean, then they wouldn't be bad. I don't
That
think.
team would be interesting.
Yeah.
James
Aging
Harden.
Blake. I mean, as long as Blake could stay
Blake
healthy.
is starting to make threes now. I don't know if you saw
Christian
that.
Wood re-signed a contract. And
They also
he
drafted
blossomed.
what's his face, the Frenchman, who was the point guard.
Oh, not Avdija. Never
No,
mind.
not him, not him.
They were saying his name wrong on the broadcast the other night. I was upset.
Who was the? We talked about it on the Sports Bar podcast. Who was the French point guard?
Ricky Rubio.
No, it wasn't.
It's not French.
Or Spanish.
What was he? A big man.
I can't remember him.
Oh, this is gonna.
Martin Gortat.
This is gonna
He's
kill me.
Polish.
Look up Detroit's roster while we talk. Well, I figure out. I can't remember the name, but I see James Harden going to. He's gonna probably end up in Brooklyn or LA. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Philadelphia. But I see him going to Philly. They'll trade away Ben Simmons, have Embiid and James Harden.
Does
And
that
it'll
get
work
done before the regular season starts?
No, it'll probably be done.
Killian Hayes.
Thank you, Killian Hayes is the point guard in Detroit. They just drafted.
That was my fifth guess.
I could not remember the name.
Honestly,
But
I
no,
don't
James
know who that
Harden
is.
with Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris in Philly could be interesting to watch. Now, I think that'll be done probably by, I would say, February is what I would think. I don't think it's going to be done before the season. He's going to play in Houston to start the season, but he'll be on a different team by the end of it. That's what I think. So you're sticking with Detroit, just to say
Yeah.
shits and giggles?
Screw it. Yeah.
All right. Do you have any idea? What do you think?
I said Golden State just because they got a bunch of 3-point
Oh, no.
shooters.
If they go to Golden State. Well, actually, they don't have Klay Thompson, so.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
I think we said that before.
Is
but
Draymond
again.
Green still on the team?
Draymond Green is still there.
Would they
Unfortunately.
trade Draymond for James?
If I was Golden State, I would jump on that.
Oh my gosh.
If I was Golden State, I would jump on that, but they would not.
Well,
They wouldn't have
Houston would
anyone
need-
inside.
Houston would not do that.
No.
Houston needs a superstar back in return.
Well,
Draymond's not a superstar?
to wrap things up here with the NBA, the Magic are actually playing right now in Charlotte.
I don't have the channels anymore.
I don't either, but
YouTube
just-
TV Life.
yeah, YouTube TV.
Not a sponsor.
Thanks for taking away the Fox Sports affiliates.
I
you
used to have
jerks.
PlayStation View, and that was great.
I did like that.
That was awesome.
All right, but no. So we just want to talk a little bit of NBA. Those are the two biggest news, other than the Lakers are going to win it all again, probably because they got better, in my opinion. But we can talk about basketball
Where
in
does
another
Chicago
episode.
stand in the East, in y'all's opinion? Round
got
7,
a lot
6
to prove.
seed.
They've got a lot to do.
Yeah, I don't think they're quite there yet.
No.
They're not as bad as they're not going to be as bad as last year.
10,
but
11 seed. Well, they were like...
Well,
I can see that.
You think they can contend for a playoff spot?
wait,
I don't
Because
think
remember
so.
the
I think it'd
NBA
be
is
like 11
remember
or
the
12.
playoff situation is 7 to 10 go for a play-in spot.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I don't think they.
I think they'll
quite
be the
there.
12 to 13, 14. They're still
Patrick
bottom
Williams
feeders.
explodes like he's been doing so far in the preseason. I could see
yeah,
something.
he looks good. Kobe looks good.
Kobe White.
Kobe is good.
From one of my friends who was texting me because me and him getting into card collecting hobby, so he's been liking Kobe White a lot.
Yeah,
So
he's fun to watch. He looks a little bit like Derrick Rose, not as explosive, and he's quick though. He can dive inside, finish around the rim, and then he's a better shooter too. So he's making threes. I think last night they played OKC and Levine had 24 points and 27 points went to Kobe, and I think Patrick Williams had 13 or so.
Yeah, no, you sent us. He has some pretty good numbers too. So I don't know. Chicago should be promising. Magic should be dancing around that
7 to 10 range.
7 to 10 range again. And yeah,
Y'all are like the Jeff Fisher of basketball.
No, or probably worse.
yeah, definitely on the worst side of Jeff Fisher.
Yeah.
Where's
so
Stan Van Gundy now?
he is actually in New Orleans
New
now with
Orleans.
Zion Williamson and
JJ
company.
Redick.
Yeah,
JJ
but I
Redick.
remember-
JJ was not happy
I
about
remember him
that.
saying something about that. Yeah.
That was so funny.
That
but
was funny.
we'll see with New Orleans. I'm just glad the NBA's back. Football's wrapping up. And
Just because the Jaguars don't have anything going on.
no, it's because the Jags stink, the Knolls stink, and then the Gators also stink right now. So
We
Gators aren't doing
gotta
anything.
Gators
get
don't
into college
stink.
basketball now.
So
Oh,
with
yeah.
that, we'll go to the local update presented by Keith.
Yes. So there was a few things I just wanted to touch on that I noticed around Jacksonville lately. For those of you that are in the Lakewood area, you know the Starbucks that was next to the Old Healthy Bagel in the Winn-Dixie parking lot is actually going to be moving across the street to where the old Shell was. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. I'll try and find out more stuff so I'm not just talking about one spot. But some other exciting news, JetBlue will offer nonstop flights to Raleigh-Durham and Los Angeles.
How do you say it?
Raleigh-Durham.
Oh, they said Raleigh or Raleigh.
No.
I don't know how you said it. It was funny.
Iraqi.
Got the Ramsey route, though. go from Jax to LAX.
The Ramsey route,
all backs are up on that flight.
Jalen Jet. I don't know. I tried.
The backbreaker flight.
No, I don't think they want to break backs.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be good.
They heal your back on the way there.
But no, the flight to LA is pretty dope from Jacksonville. Yeah, which I'm actually a little surprised they haven't done that, but then again,
it's a big flight.
It's a
Orlando,
long distance.
Yeah, Orlando's had that one on lock. But other news that I thought was cool is a little bit older, but the Jumbo Shrimp are officially AAA. I don't know about you, Skylar. That excites me.
No, it's really cool. I mean, I don't know if people will still understand the magnitude of it. I mean, some people will. The baseball fans will, but I'm not sure if Mike will understand.
Mike will understand, yeah.
I know how the majors go.
Well, I know, but I know you know how it goes, but why we're excited is because we're gonna have MLB prospects.
Oh, I know MLB prospects, and if anyone gets demoted or not demoted, but if they're hurt rehabbing, they go AAA.
Which we did. We had Jose Fernandez here for a little bit for that same reason. But one thing too, also I want to mention is that with the old format, we were in the Southern League, so we only played Southern League teams, and there were a ton of other AA teams. Now they're trying to do it to where it's formatted to East and West, possibly, so we could see Dodger prospects come out. We could see Mariner prospects come out now, and just see prospects from all over the league. We're seeing affiliates from every MLB team as opposed to 12 select affiliates
from the specific teams.
Yeah,
gotcha.
so that's also another really cool thing. So if
you're telling me we're going to see some really good young players probably come into Jackson to play against the Shrimp or for the Shrimp.
Yeah, so when Chris Bryant was in Iowa playing for the Iowa Cubs, their stadium was packed, and we're going to have prospects similar playing for the Shrimp, and we'll have prospects coming in.
The biggest thing will be probably the rehab assignments, because the biggest prospects are mostly in AA, honestly.
Yeah, I mean they are, but that's
what I was saying. The rehab, I know when someone's hurt, they work their way up. AAA, they play 1 or 2 games and then they go back to the majors.
Yeah, you'll see, a guy that's just oh man, turf toe or whatever. He goes out and he's rehabbing. It's all right, cool, this is nice. But I really am excited. I want to see some other, big name people that I already know instead of having to learn to know, like Mike Stanton, Christian Yelich, JT Realmuto.
Who's Mike Stanton?
Giancarlo.
I know. I was just saying for people who don't know who Mike Stanton is.
If you don't, you're not an OG. Jack Civilian.
You got Clayton Kershaw too.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what we'd see more. We'd see more rehab assignments like that.
See more butts.
We could do that too. That was the last thing of just things around Jacks I saw. I wanted to get in college basketball really quickly. I have pulled up both of the records for the local teams. May surprise you what they actually look like.
I know UNF's got a great shooting team. JU had a great record to start with.
Yeah, JU is currently 6-2, and they are 5-1 at home. Lost 1 on the road. They've won 3 in a row. North Florida is 1-7. They finally won a game to go 1-7 now. So
they've been playing a lot of out of conference games though.
Everyone's been playing out of conference, correct? But their schedule has seemingly been a lot more difficult than Jacksonville. So they played Flagler. Flagler's a really tough opponent for UNF. Just kidding.
Oh, and then they played Florida State.
Shout out Peach Belt. They played. Where was their tough game?
Flagler
they
actually
played Florida
got
State Wednesday.
Flagler got their first Division I win, I think, against Central Michigan or something.
Yeah, I did see that. It's pretty cool too. Eastern Kentucky, NC State, Miami, Florida State. I mean, some of these bad losses. High Point, that's not a very good loss. Lost to FAU,
and they were supposed to play Florida.
And they beat FIU.
They were supposed to play Florida, but Florida canceled or postponed their next few games after the Keontae Johnson collapse. So hopefully he feels a lot better, which I've seen on Twitter. A lot more promising news for him.
He's responsive, yeah. I think that was the main word. He was in a induced coma. And
never good when you see that.
But it's promising. He's getting better, so we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully he recovers quickly enough to, one, get home more than actually playing basketball.
Yeah, he doesn't need to worry about basketball right now.
Yeah, just get home.
Yeah, exactly. That's about all I had, though, for the local update. That's really it. Skylar, you have anything about Coastal going on? Anything new?
Well, we're working up for next year, so we're gonna have some big things lined up for next year. That's at least what I know. You always come practice, especially with this cold weather. So give us a call if you're getting too cold.
Sounds good.
All right, Skylar Chase, right here at Coastal Indoor Golf.
And we're still waiting on someone to claim the prize pack. I don't think anyone replied to our tweet on Sunday. So
have y'all given up?
Come
Ooh.
on. We need some interaction from y'all.
Yeah, I wanted
Someone
to
will get close
briefly
to
talk about that too,
the
like
prize pack.
how we do the game picks every week, and I pick the Jaguars every week.
Is this going to be the first week you're changing your...
No,
oh, dang
absolutely
it.
not.
Who
Because
are we playing?
But, the Ravens.
Baltimore.
Unique Ngakoue is going to... okay, I'm going to save it for the prediction.
did you see all the finish lines under his press
Oh,
conference?
the checker flags? Yes.
So, but no, what I was saying is, like, I probably still won't ever pick Jacksonville if y'all are picking against them, because, like, that's going to be the day they win, and we'll be, like, the analysts that pick, you know.
That would be pretty funny.
Jags are not going to win a game the rest of the season.
I mean,
Calling
they
it now.
could,
Well,
if I pick
actually,
them against the,
maybe the Bears.
if I pick
maybe
the Bears, yeah, they might win that one.
We keep crapping on the Bears, but they're going to watch them go for 60
Well,
points
they
against
played
us.
pretty well against Houston, so, I mean,
Houston stinks.
Yeah,
Half
they
their
do,
wins are
but-
against Jacksonville.
Houston's got, yeah.
Well, Mitch Trubisky
Exactly.
has to have one good game so that everyone can believe in him again and then fall in love with him so he can suck a week from now. Kevin, if you're listening, that's for you.
Well,
Not my brother Kevin, because I know Kevin asked me the other day
Oh.
about that.
Well, Keith, wouldn't you, as a Packer fan, prefer Mitch look great this season so that they keep him for next season and
Oh,
draft
absolutely.
around him?
Oh, no, Mr. Trubisky can go off for all I care. I'd love for that. So the next year, Aaron Rodgers can beat him by 40. I mean, it'd be great.
Not Jordan Love?
Not next year. Not next year. Shoot, we got Super Bowl aspirations. I actually something to look forward to in
And
football.
then he does what LeBron does and goes to a whole different conference and tries to win it with a whole different team.
Oh man, I don't want
From
that.
small market
All right,
to
enough
small
of that.
market.
We're going too long here. For Keith Manzi, for Skylar Chase, this is Mike Giannis signing off. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Dimes on Duval.
And Merry Christmas.
and Happy Holidays and Happy New Year, because we probably will not record until 2021 because next 2 weeks are Christmas and New Year's.
See you next year.
Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah too. And
Yes,
Kwanzaa.
and that's well. He said Happy Holidays. It's a blanket.
All right,
It's
good. Yeah, that's a blanket statement.
not to leave him out, but we love everyone.